Hello, I'm Miss Van Leeuwen, and I will be showing you how to edit contrast in your photographs in Photoshop. I'll be using a black and white and a color photograph as examples. We will be learning how to use two tools, levels and color bounds, in Photoshop to edit contrast, as well as some other auto features in Photoshop. First, open your image. We will be starting with this black and white image of a perfume bottle that I took. The first step is to go into the Layers tab. In this window, you will see New Adjustment Layer. This function allows you to edit the black and white contrast without permanently damaging your image, so then you can go back and re-edit your image later. Now, select Levels. You can name your levels if you would like, but click OK, and a graph will pull up. This graph is called a histogram. It shows the black and white tones of your photograph. Here you can see three little arrows. The leftmost adjusts the dark values, so if you move it closer to the middle, your values will get darker. The opposite goes with the white values. As you move the rightmost arrows, it will adjust the lightness and brightness of your picture. The middle arrow that shows up as gray are the midtones, which you usually do not have to edit. The goal is to get both of these endpoints at the end of the peak of this mountain. If you move one too much to the other side, if you move the white too much to the left side, it will overexpose the image and your image will become too white. You can do the same thing with a color image by going back to the Layer tab, clicking New Adjustment Layer, and Levels. You can adjust the color of this. In this image, you can see that the peak of the mountain is slightly different because the color alters the contrast. So then again, light it up to the edges of the mountain, and you can keep altering it. Also, but this is, you can see this is a little bit too bright, so you move it back over a tad, and it will look a little bit more natural. You can also go to Image, Auto Contrast, or Auto Tone to see what Photoshop thinks is the recommended brightness or darkness. So you can push Auto Correctness as well. But as you can see, the Auto did not change much of our contrast, which means we already have a good contrast in our image. For colored images, you also have to include an extra step because obviously color adds another layer of contrast. So you can go back to the Layer tab, New Adjustment Layer, and then go to Color Balance. Click OK, and this menu should pop up. If it does not pop up, you can go to Window, Color Balance. In this menu, you can see you can adjust the tones of the blue or the redness, the purple or the green, yellow or blue. And this way you can adjust the temperatures of colors versus just the lighting. So we can make it a little bit, maybe that's a little bit too blue, so we'll put it, they should still remain in the middle, but you can edit them so then it either looks more natural or maybe artificial, depending on what you want. Also, it's important to note to have this box checked, so then the contrast you've added with your color bounds and your levels remain. If you click this button to unview your layer, you can see just how much that contrast in the levels has affected the image. Also with the color balance. Maybe not as significant, but it adds the contrast, and it's another layer to be careful of. So now you know how to edit the color bounds and levels in Photoshop.